creatures, creepers. Welcome creatures and creepers, to the flagship episode of Spooky Urban Spins. The channel is all about storytelling. The channel is all about the strange, the unusual, the bizarre, the dark, the macabre. So, if you are as morbid and twisted as I am and like this kind of content, why don't you search out the like button, find assistance from the subscribe button, and join me as I spin tales of the inner city. Sometimes people go missing. Sometimes there is no explanation. And it's up to people like me to keep your stories alive, so those who are left behind can finally have the closure they so desperately deserve. So, if you're ready, creatures, let's journey down that dark alleyway and see what's lurking at the end. Our first morbid spin begins with a man that walks into a bar and is never heard from again. No, it's not a bad joke. This is a story of Brian Randall Shaffer on the 15th anniversary, March 31st, 2006. Brian was born in Pickerton, Ohio on February 25th, 1979 to Renee and Randall Shaffer, his brother Derek. On the night of April 1st, 2006, Brian disappeared from the Ugly Tuna Saloon, a college campus bar in Columbus, Ohio, in the Gateway District. Brian stood 6'2", 188 pounds. He had dark hair, cut short, and dark eyes. He was athletically built, and he had a tattoo of the stick figure from the band Pearl Jam from their single Alive, released on the date of 2005 of that year. The tattoo was on his upper right bicep. On the night he went missing, Brian was wearing a polo green shirt over a long white sleeve shirt, a pair of dark color blue jeans, and white Adidas athletic shoes, and a yellow cancer awareness bracelet. Brian's mother tragically passed away during his mid-second year as a medical student. This was 3 weeks prior to Brian going missing. Brian took the passing of his mother, Renee, pretty hard, even at one point telling his longtime girlfriend, Alexis Wagner, that she may want to consider moving on and finding someone else, because he was just not in a good place. But eventually Brian pulled out of it and became a lot tighter family with his dad Randall and his brother Derek. They all rallied together and was able to pull Brian out of a dark place. Brian and Alexis had planned a getaway trip for spring break, starting on April the 3rd in Miami Beach, Florida. Brian was always passionate about tropical places. He had 2 loves in life. He had at one point claiming that being a doctor was just a part-time gig, and his real dreams was laying up on the beach somewhere with a senorita drinking margaritas and playing music in the style of Jimmy Buffett. It was believed that Brian would be asking Alexis to marry him on this trip, but that would never come to pass, because on April 3rd, Brian did not show up to go on this trip they had been planning for months. On March 31st, Brian started a night out of spring break weekend by meeting his dad Randall at an Outback Steakhouse for a dinner and some one-on-one time with his father. They were trying to rekindle their father-son relationship that had been rocky, but they were putting the pieces back together. Randall said that it seemed like his son Brian was tired because he had been pulling all-nighters in preparation for the finals that was coming up. But now with spring break in full swing, Brian was ready to go and leave some steam. And being an adult, his father really didn't want to take that away from him, so he never brought the issue up at dinner. After dinner was over, Randall said goodbye to Brian, not knowing that this would be the last time he would ever see his son again. Brian set out to meet up with William Lawrence, better known as Clint. They had planned a night of bar hopping since Alexis was out of town on family business. They was taking this as an opportunity to spend some quality guy time together, just out hanging out during spring break. The two sat down at the bar, opened up a tab, and started to have 45 shots of hard liquor at the Ugly to the Saloon. Eventually, their journeys would take them onto the strip of the gateway of Columbus, Ohio University. Bar hopping would lead them to the North End Cafe, located in the southern district of Columbus University, in the Gateway Arena, where they would eventually run into Meredith Reed, a mutual friend of both Brian and Clint from the Columbus, Ohio University College of Medicine. Meredith would end up giving the two a ride back to the Ugly Tuna Saloon so they could end their night where it started at approximately 1:45 in the morning, not too far away from the last call. Security footage showed Brian on the escalators heading back up towards the Ugly Tuna Saloon. He seems to be having a conversation with two young ladies from the university, Amber and Braxton, both of which was interviewed by the Ohio Police Department and were cleared of any wrongdoing. The last time Brian was seen is approximately 1:45, just outside of the bar. It says that it shows him going back into the bar, but that is false. It does not show him going back into the bar. It shows him going out of the sight of the camera. And this is where things get interesting. According to Clint and Meredith, they searched the bar completely for Brian, checking the restrooms, the stalls, and even trying to reach him on his cellular phone, but to no avail. After closing time, they assumed Brian had went home because he only lived a mere 6 blocks away from the Ugly to the Saloon. He lived in the Arena District, and it was only about maybe a 30-minute walk home at the most. So they had figured he had just went ahead and gone home after he went back to talk to the band, according to Clint. Alexis returned on April the 1st, that Saturday. She tried to reach Brian several times upon returning home, but to no avail. So she ended up going over to his apartment and spending the night. When she got to his apartment, she discovered that his car was still in the driveway and his bed looked like it had been unslept in. So she continued to try to get a hold of Brian throughout the weekend. When Monday morning came and it was time for them to depart to Miami, and he didn't show up, that's when they decided to get the authorities involved. The authorities began their search where Brian was last seen at the Ugly Tuna Saloon. Police dogs were used to try to locate and pick up on a scent, but to no avail. The family spent the weekend looking for dumpsters and other areas around the Gateway District of Columbus, Ohio, but no trace of Brian was found. The authorities even went as far to check the landfills, the garbage dumps, and still nothing. They questioned all the people involved, and all of them agreed to take a polygraph test except for Clint. Clayton decided to lure up and stand his ground when it came to taking the lie detector's test. So Meredith, Amber, and Braxton, and anyone else that was last seen with Brian took this lie detector test except for Clint. Alexis would spend the next several months spending her nights in Brian's apartment, continuously calling his cell phone, hoping for an answer. But that answer never did come. It would keep going directly to voicemail. That is, until the night of September 9th, when something amazing happened. On September the 9th, she called Brian's cell phone and it actually rang. It rang 3 times and then would go back to voicemail. It would repeatedly do this for a course of around 48 hours. Maybe there was some hope to be had. Unfortunately, that hope would be short-lived. The authorities determined that the reason the cell phone rang was due to a glitch in the system across between the cell phone towers. For the time of 2006 and the limits of the technology, the phone was not equipped with GPS. However, they did get a ping from a neighboring town in Columbus, Ohio, probably 14 miles away, but that ended up being a dead end. It wouldn't be until 2008 until the authorities had another break in the case. In 2008, a violent windstorm ripped through Columbus, Ohio, damaging winds of F5 magnitude. The morning after, Randall Shaffer, Brian's father, was out on his property surveying the damage when tragically a tree branch fell and killed Mr. Shaffer. Another tragic blow to the Shaffer family, leaving only dirt behind for the patriarch of the Shaffer bloodline. It was because of this tragedy the authorities had another lead on Brian Shaffer. During the obituary columns from Mr. Randall's tragic death, a simple message read, "To Dad, love Brian, U.S. versions Allen." Now this message was investigated thoroughly, but unfortunately it was just a cruel prank that originated from a public source library in the Columbus, Ohio area. What started out as a night of celebration in good times for spring break in 2006 ended up being one of Ohio's most thought-provoking mysteries. 15 years later, and it seems like we know just as much now as we knew then of what happened to Brian Shaffer on that fateful night. Many theories are abound when it comes to this case. Anywhere between alien abductions, the government conspiracies, a simple suicide, to even he just decided to pack up and leave. But we may never know what truly happened to Mr. Shaffer on that fateful night. But what we do know is the moral of this story is sometimes your drinking buddies aren't always your buddies. And the next time you walk into a bar, try not to end up the punchline.